Are you kidding me? 4 months away from my Texas ranch, and I come back to find 110 cookie-cutter houses slapped down on my land, like Monopoly pieces, families barbecuing in what used to be my backyard, and a woman with the nerve to hand me a $50,000 bill as if I was the one trespassing. That's Texas for you, I guess, where a floodplain only matters when a hurricane's breathing down your neck. You want to know what happens next? Buckle up, because I didn't get a phone call, a text, not so much as a howdy before my family's legacy got steamrolled by greed and bureaucracy. Let me back up a sec. These past months, I wasn't vacationing in the Caribbean. I was living in a shoebox apartment in Houston, breathing disinfectant fumes in a hospital, while my dad, my hero, faded away from pancreatic cancer. Thanksgiving was diagnosis. Christmas was hospice, and by New Year's I was holding his hand while the machines played their sad little symphony. 4 generations had worked that land. The only thing I wanted after losing Dad was to stand on Morrison soil, to feel the ground steady under my boots, to remember who I was. But coming home felt like the start of a bad joke. Instead of the old white farmhouse built by my great-granddad in '47 with oil field wages, I saw row after row of luxury homes, driveways, mailboxes, even perfect little lawns. It looked like someone had airlifted suburbia straight onto my pastures. I was so stunned I almost ran off the road. That's when the silence of the past months clicked into place. Not peace, but cover for what they'd done. Nobody from home called. Not a soul raised an alarm. Just a swarm of strangers on my land gossiping about school zones and HOA fees like they'd always belonged there. And at the heart of it all was a slick sales office, Sunset Valley Estates, a Victoria Sterling development looking as out of place as a casino in a church parking lot. So yeah, I kicked in the door. I wasn't there for coffee and cookies. And there she was, Victoria Sterling herself, looking like she'd walked out of a magazine spread. Hair and nails, perfect smile, so cold it could freeze motor oil. "Mr. Morrison," she purred as if I'd just wandered in for a property tour. "Hope your father's funeral went smoothly. Pancreatic cancer's such a challenge, isn't it?" That hit me harder than any punch. How did she know about my dad? How did she know I'd been gone? Who told her all my business? I was barely holding it together when she slid a folder across her desk. Legal docs, bills, a full Vegas deck of bureaucracy. "You've been absent for 4 months, Mr. Morrison," she said, tapping out a rhythm on the desk like she was calling the shots. "Texas law is clear: abandoned land, missed notices, community development assessments." She wanted $50,000 in infrastructure improvements, maintenance penalties, even charged me for geological surveys and flood zone verifications on my own land. Something about that survey bugged me. The signature looked off, too perfect ink, too fresh for a months-old document. Dr. Harrison, the supposed geologist, had a John Hancock that screamed forgery, so I called the number on the letterhead, figured maybe I'd catch someone in a lie. Turns out Dr. Harrison had been dead 6 months. The report was dated just 8 weeks ago. You ever get that cold feeling down your spine? Yeah, that was me. That's when Elena Rodriguez stepped into my story, a property lawyer out of San Antonio with more fight in her than a pen of cornered wild hogs. She took one look at the documents and said, "This isn't just bad paperwork. This is oil industry level fraud." She had a magnifying glass, death certificates, signature samples, the whole 9 yards. "See these breaks in the flow? This was traced," she said. "Whoever forged this thought nobody would check. They didn't count on us." Elena went deeper, overlaying the foundation tests on my great-granddad's flood maps. She showed me the grid pattern they drilled deep, way deeper than you need for a house. "This is classic oil extraction," she said, "not construction." It hit me like a thunderclap. The whole neighborhood was a smokescreen for drilling oil out from under my feet. And the kicker, they'd mapped it all to the lowest, most flood-prone stretch, planning to let the next hurricane wash away all evidence. If that's not evil, I don't know what is. "They're counting on the storm to clean up," Elena whispered. No houses left, no crime scene. My blood was boiling, but it got worse. Every official who should have stopped this was in on it. Frank Murphy, the county planner, sat behind his coffee-stained desk, sweating bullets, trying to tell us everything was by the book. Elena dropped the bomb. Frank's wife, whose nail salon had never done consulting, got $200K from Sterling Development last month. Consulting services, Frank, maybe on gel manicures for oil rigs. His face went ghost white. Elena had hacked into his email, easiest hack in Texas. His password was 123 and printed out everything: bribes, timelines, meteorology reports. They'd planned it all: acquire the land, extract the oil, time it for hurricane season, then let Mother Nature erase the crime. They even paid hurricane forecasters for custom predictions. And wouldn't you know it, just as we're reading the emails, the weather radio goes off: Category 4 Hurricane Patricia landfall in 48 hours, right over Sunset Valley Estates. I did the only thing I could: send everything to the FBI, the State Attorney General, Texas Rangers, every TV news station from Houston to Dallas. Evidence, photos, the works. Problem is, bureaucracy moves slower than a Texas tortoise. The FBI said 10 business days, but we had less than 2 before the storm hit. Nobody wanted to touch the story: too complicated, too much red tape. That night I drove through the neighborhood one last time. Kids playing in yards, soon to be underwater porch lights, glowing parents trusting the world to be fair. I wanted to warn them all, but how do you tell someone their home's a lie and they need to run for the hills without sounding crazy? Most would have slammed the door in my face. When Patricia made landfall, it was like watching the end of the world. Water swallowed the houses whole. In less than an hour, 110 homes vanished. Cars floated down streets. Transformers exploded. All that fake luxury, living swept away like it never existed. But the hurricane didn't just erase evidence, it uncovered it. Oil pumps and pipes hidden under garden sheds and maintenance buildings poked out of the mud plain as day. Elena showed up at sunrise with a camera, snapping photos of exposed rigs and empty wells. Here's the final twist: Victoria Sterling had already pumped every drop of oil, capped the wells, and was sitting pretty in Mexico with a $500 million payday. Or so she thought. Then we got a call from the FBI. Turns out the oil Victoria sold was nothing but contaminated groundwater and toxic waste left over from illegal dumping decades ago. Her buyers, a Mexican cartel, if you can believe it, discovered they'd paid $500 million for hazardous sludge. Suddenly, Victoria wasn't just wanted by the FBI, she had cartel friends looking for her too. After that, the dominoes fell fast. Frank got arrested trying to shred documents at the county office. The oil company backing Victoria paid $50 million to avoid federal charges, and Victoria herself was found in a Cancun hotel bathroom, busted by both the feds and some extremely angry business partners. Elena got hired as a fraud consultant by the FBI, which is about as much poetic justice as you'll ever see in real life. As for me, I used the settlement money to restore my land and built a monument where the neighborhood once stood, a sign that says, "Morrison Family Land, where nature always wins." You know what I mean? Some days justice comes from lawyers, other days from hurricanes, but most often it's just the land reminding us you can't fool it no matter how clever you think you are. So let me ask you, what's the wildest HOA or real estate story you've ever heard? Who do you think deserves justice and who gets away with it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I can't wait to see which side of the storm you're on.